by Gulfstream Park.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out.
It's Mayo 6.
Today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Gulfstream Park.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa on the side.
Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. It is Friday, and that means it's Fun Day.
Fun day.
At 10 Palms at Gulfstream Park. Jeff Defo DeForest, Tony Segreto, Mike Lubie. Lubit's getting us all wired up and set to go. And we're rolling on the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group. Almost at 145,000. It's been stuck on 144.
That's pretty amazing, huh?
That's okay.
Wow.
And we are here. And boy, am I in a giddy mood today. Okay, first of all, let me stop for a second. You know, you have your Defoisms. Lately, I've been coming up with some Mayo's musings.
Oh, no.
And I had
I hope they're not modeled after that silly, goofy thing you're doing now where you think you're being very sexy with the sound thing.
Not trying.
We're not going into
so
the
disgusting.
ASMR.
So disgusting.
We
Not
might do
sexy.
something along those lines at some
I
point
hope not.
later today. It's
Tell
better
me,
from
tell
than
me.
my
Don't
big bite.
disrespect Joe
All right.
Beja like that.
Let
Yeah.
me get back. The Mayo musings, I gave you one, the first one last week was, I've never been more dismayed by my body, yet I've never been more comfortable in my own skin.
Yes.
How's that for a little
Yes.
dichotomy?
A little deep, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Today, it is when I think about the finiteness of life and the vast infiniteness of the universe, it makes me want to pursue pleasure. And in that respect,
What are you writing? Haiku
I'll give
now?
people
I mean,
credit.
what
You
the hell?
sound like a
Yeah.
lunatic.
hence New Orleans. And
New
that's
Orleans.
why I'm going to be pursuing some pleasures this weekend, eating, drinking, dancing, music, with some nice companionship.
Where you
I'm
staying?
going tonight. It's using the old Marriott points, staying
Oh,
at the
yeah?
Renaissance Warehouse District. I
Where's
think it's
that?
called the Renaissance Arts District Hotel. It's at Chapatula Street, near the Central Business
All right.
District, right around the corner from your favorite place, Defo, Harrah's Casino.
I like that
But it's
place.
a really nice little lively area that has sprouted somewhere in between the Central Business District and the Garden District, Lower Garden District. You know, I love New Orleans because it has distinct neighborhoods and good
Yeah.
feel. And
Yeah.
when I go, I tend to shun the French Quarter and some of the more touristy places, as you know. And I love kind of exploring and staying
You
on.
consider it pedestrian.
Don't put word. Okay, yeah, it is pedestrian. You put the word in my mouth because I'm an elitist. And again, I try to kind of live like a local. But I'm just excited because it's
great to go there.
and again for those reasons, I've got nothing but the bubbly San
Well,
Pellegrino
here's to you
water.
having a great trip, Mike Mayo. I know it's been a while.
I've got a little salad.
And, it's a good place to
Salute,
go.
eh?
And you've already made how many reservations? Now you're going to be there, what, today? One meal.
Tonight we land at
And
7:00, so that leaves us time for 2 meals
Saturday,
tonight.
Sunday. Two meals.
Three
tonight.
meals if you go get beignets.
2 meals.
That's true.
Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, all day Monday. Our flight back is like 6:00 Monday, and then we land back here at like 9:30. So, there's some time to do some damage with the food, the drinking, the music, the fun.
What's your number one thing that you're looking forward to doing?
I would say,
I'm trying this crab cake, by the way.
oh yeah, look at that.
Yes,
Oh,
they're
great,
special.
yeah.
Crab cake sandwich.
It's
which
a
is
Lent
interesting.
Friday. We got the fish special
we got a
snapper
snapper.
here at 10 pounds. We got this crab cake
Oh, you should
sandwich.
get in on this.
I'm
Oh,
looking
look at
forward
this.
to just kind of getting through one meal at a time. That should be my new motto. Right?
Yes,
One
yes.
meal at a time.
Yes, that
That's
would be
the way
great.
you should eat.
That would be great.
I could talk like a sports old jock cliche. You know, Defo. I just take it one meal at a time these days.
That's the way to do it. I mean, if you were going to do it, take a bite of this crab cake, Mike Mayo. Right out of Maryland. You can taste the Preakness. Joe Beja, I know he's been going up to Pimlico a few times to help him out with the food service there, but wow, he definitely brought something back from Maryland with this one.
Well, we're going to be hopefully joined by Joe Beja today. Last week he was all tied up at the South Beach Wine and Food Festival.
You didn't get down there?
Industry Day.
How is that possible?
No, I kind of took, believe it or not, I took the weekend off from going to any kind of major eating events.
Where are you going to eat tonight? Oh, tonight you're
Tonight,
going to
so
be...
tonight, landing in New Orleans. Checking
Planning
out.
on landing in New Orleans at what time?
Supposed to land right
Oh, you're
before.
on JetBlue, so you have a good chance.
It's a nonstop
Yeah.
from Fort Lauderdale. Hopefully gets in right on time, right before 7 o'clock. And I've got a 9:30 reservation at one of the new hot spots in town. It's called Zazu, Zasu. And it is supposed to be like fine, elevated dining on the newer side. I think it's only been open like 1 or 2 years, but it's getting all kinds of praise and awards. And again, it's what makes New Orleans special is that it's kind of located in this out-of-the-way neighborhood near Mid-City, near the racetrack and the fairgrounds. I think it's in a like old restored house, and it's a really a good chef. It's a woman, actually. And happy International, I guess, Women's History Month this month. And I don't know the chef's name, but I think it's a place that, again, kind of blends the classic Creole
Did you
influences.
mention who you were and what you had going?
No, I don't.
In the food
I
industry?
just show up, and
What-
nobody
what-
knows me in New Orleans.
What
That's
about,
okay.
What about jackets?
Oh, so again, when you go into some classic places in the French Quarter like Antoine's and Galatoire's, some of them do still require jackets. Commander's Palace.
Really? All right.
I'm not bringing a jacket. The places that I'm going to be going to are more like business casual. I'll bring a nice collared button-down shirt and some shoes. But Zazu
shoes.
tonight at 9:30. I'm very excited. The menu looks like that beautiful mix of some modern spins on classic Creole food. They always have a nice fish dish with a good sauce. So that's tonight at 9:30. I'm sure by midnight we might be walking it off by
You're gonna have a
going
yeah,
where?
yeah, you gotta-
Where's the famous
How
place?
late are they open?
The Cafe Du Monde.
How late is it open?
Let me.
Oh,
you're not
24
giving-
hours a day,
you're not
7
giving me
days a
in
week.
morning.
a second to say where it is.
Yeah, I don't know where it is.
Cafe Du Monde.
Cafe Du
Yeah.
Monde. Do you know what makes their coffee a little bit different than the usual coffee? What they blend it with?
Chicory.
Thank you,
Oh,
Tony
nice.
Segreto. Here's
Tony's
a man
on his
who
game.
knows
Speaking of New
Wow,
Orleans,
food.
you
look
may
at
as well be
Tony.
Louis Armstrong. this
See,
guy.
when I quiz this guy,
Tony's been there though. My favorite, first time I went there to dine anywhere, was with Sonny Hirsch, who is the king of all road trip restaurants. Would
He
you agree with
was
that?
He was the king. There was
Undisputed.
unmatched.
You could go with Mayo. You could go with Beard. I mean, anybody. It wouldn't make any difference. Sonny Hirsch was the king of all out of town restaurants, and so the first meal I had in New Orleans was actually at Brennan's, where he was big with the Bananas Foster, which I don't know. I mean, what do you think about Bananas Foster in general? There,
I like them.
I
It's
enjoy
good.
it.
You're
I
good
like
with
the
that, yeah?
flambe. I like the dramatic
Yeah.
table
The
side.
presentation is like really half the trip. I mean, you would have to say.
Oh yeah.
And then when you get the stuff, I guess any dessert you
That's
can get
good.
drunk off. I'm a big fan of. But all right, so now what are some of the other sophisticated places that Mike Mayo has booked New Orleans?
New Orleans is one of those places where I like having a game plan, and my game plan philosophy is pretty simple. It's kind of what I try to do here at home, which is you make a blending of an old reliable place that you love that you've been to many times, something that's new and trendy that you've never been to before, and then something that maybe has been around for a while and that you've heard good things about, but
you
you've
haven't
never
tried.
been there yet.
Yep. Okay.
So that's the three elements that I try to incorporate. Tonight is the new trendy hip place, Zazu. Tomorrow night, a shout out and hat tip to our friend Joe Casal. One of his favorite places, one of his good friends from New Orleans, a great chef, a better human being, Frank Brightson. Have you ever been to Brightson's? It's on the river,
Yeah.
old
It's
house.
Fantastic.
Frank has been an old school New Orleans chef for a long time. He came up under the tutelage of Paul Prudhomme. He worked, I believe, at Cape Hall's Kitchen, the original Cape Hall's, which really kind of put Creole cooking on the map with his blackened redfish. That was a dish that was so good, it just spread internationally. Everybody tried to replicate it. But Frank worked with Paul Prudhomme and then opened his own place. Man, it must be like 30 years ago. And time really flies. And but Frank also does all kinds of charitable work around town and preparing meals for the needy, doing classes and cooking, basically teaching people how to cook in a kitchen commercially so that they could go on and pursue careers. Just a truly, really giving person. And he is a pretty darn good chef besides that. And I am very much looking forward to getting in there tomorrow night. So that's the game.
Sounds good. I mean, I love the sophistication of the game plan there, Mike Mayo, because I go there with no game plan.
I agree.
And I still always have a great time. I
Yep.
mean, how would you rank? I mean,
Look
where
at-
would you rank New Orleans among food cities? 'Cause,
Top three.
Top three.
top three. Okay,
three in
because
the
I
US.
mean, it's not
What would
really
you put one?
variety that they have there. I mean,
New York.
Okay, this is a really hard question. And, it really should be expanded to the top 5. But, my top
I would
five.
Do, I would do top 5 to 10.
top 5 is I grew up in New York, so I'm partial
Yeah, but
to
they
where
have
I grew up,
everything.
but
New
they
York, I
have
mean,
everything.
New York
It's an
has everything.
amazing, diverse and really innovative food scene there. So I'm going to put New York one.
one.
I'm going to put San Francisco, but include Napa Valley, Sonoma, like San Francisco
Yep.
wine country too, because it's just so gorgeous there, and they kind of revolutionized the whole farm to table movement and all that stuff. And plus, you get great grape juice wine there is fantastic. Number 3, New Orleans.
3.
Number
All right.
4, I'm going to go with Miami and South Florida over
Because
LA
You
now.
can do the whole region. That's the thing is
And then
you can
like
say from Broward all the way down.
LA is
Palm all
great.
these other
I
down.
mean, how do you like tie for 5th? LA and Chicago. Chicago's a great food town too. And then smaller cities, you got Charleston, South Carolina, Portland, Maine, Portland, Oregon.
Portland.
So that's
Wow.
like I just rattled off 10.
Portland, Maine. That's your territory,
but
Tony.
Portland, Maine is a very
go up there to
dynamic
eat? Yeah.
food scene.
And Vermont is just as good.
If you like cheese and syrup.
He's got you at the Waffle House every morning, Tony.
No,
Have you ever had
Vermont-
cheese and syrup?
I have
Cheese and syrup.
sometimes. But let me get back to I want to I have the vision now of Defo landing in New Orleans, and I see him having like the shakes, and I see him going right, making a beeline for the Harris
Harris.
Casino.
Straight in.
Would you ever
Going,
leave?
what's your game of choice there? Would it be blackjack?
You know what? I'm not a big casino player anymore, so I kind of sit it out. New Orleans is not the greatest destination for my particular gambling habits
Okay,
because,
because you like the horses. and
well,
you-
I like the horses and I'm not betting on my phone, so I have to actually physically go to the fairgrounds.
Right.
The degenerate caliber there is not commensurate with what I experienced when I was in Jamaica, Queens at the OTB
Okay.
many years ago.
so let me amend
But
that.
it's not a really particularly, flattering crowd to be a part of.
Here's my vision then. Strike that he goes right to the Harris Casino and down
I
to
love
Lucky
New
Dog.
Orleans.
But what I see him then is stumbling off the plane already in a half inebriated state, feeling very happy
Half?
and smiling. Maybe
Why
full,
would you?
depending
stop
on
at
the
half?
dosage and the
You're on
milligrams.
Spirit Airlines for Christ's sake.
Then him and Mustang make a beeline for Acme Oyster House.
Oh, we do
yeah.
like to start there. Actually,
Acme or Felix,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean,
now, and you considered it pedestrian, which was
No, I
unfortunate
never-
because I do believe that a lot of the local people like it just as much as any El Turistas.
when it comes,
And I have to say that if I think about overall my experiences dining in New Orleans, which I've eaten pretty much everywhere there, Acme is always good. There's nothing wrong with it. You're 6-1 at 1 to 5, man.
did it? It's
Yeah.
whistling. Okay,
about to win
well,
for
I
fun,
didn't play
yeah.
the race.
I
But-
like Commander's Palace.
Well,
myself.
Commander's Palace is classic. Antoine's, Galatoire's in the French Corner.
Antoine's, Galatoire's. Oh my
and then you've got Commander's Palace, which is
and then
obviously
you got
top
that one
notch.
that you just
But-
said.
But when it comes to like the oyster bars, okay,
Oh,
there's Felix's and Acme are across the street from each other, and I guess there's a little bit of a rivalry. I've never denigrated either one of them. I like
They're
both
both
of them.
good, yeah.
They're
I
both
never
really good.
called them pedestrian. I just like to stay out of the French Quarter, so that's why
oh,
now.
really? That's like where I run.
Now when I go, because it is so overrun by tourists and it
Yeah,
is
yeah.
so crowded, I like, you know me, I zag when the crowd zigs. I go to a place that's called Pascal's Manali. It's now been taken over by the famous Brennan family that also operates Brennan's and a couple other restaurants, but Mr. B's Bistro. But Pascal's Manali is like an old school Creole Italian restaurant that was run by a family, but the guy who ran it, Mark DeFelice, sold it to the Brennans about 5 years ago, right after I visited. I spent one of the best days of my life. It was like a Tuesday afternoon. Nobody was in the joint. Me and the owner, chef, Mark DeFelice, are just sitting at the bar. I ate turtle soup. He got a fresh bushel of oysters that came in. They have this old wooden like oyster bar up front where people get oysters and they plop them down right on the counter while they're waiting for tables. He kept opening oysters. I kept eating them. We were talking about how the kids today that come into the restaurant industry, they all want to be hotshot stars on TV, and none of them want to actually work in the kitchen.
Mm.
And then, sure enough, he ended up selling the place. But Pascal's Manale, which is outside it's in the Garden District near one of your favorite music venues, Tipitina's.
Tipitina's is great. Yeah, you're going to be right by there, right?
Yeah, so I like going into Pascal's Manale for my oysters when the urge strikes, which it will strike. at some
Are
point.
oysters there? I mean, it seems like it would be similar pretty much every place.
Yeah.
Well, it's from the Gulf.
Yeah.
And this is the time of the year where I
You
am
have to
not
finish
afraid
out.
to eat the raw oysters from the Gulf because it's winter time and a little bit colder, and they pasteurize them. And
How can you can't go wrong with the oysters anywhere you go.
Oh, in New Orleans now.
yeah,
And
now
New
let me
Orleans.
ask everybody here: when you go to New Orleans, Defo, do you eat raw or grilled oysters?
Raw.
I like the grilled oysters.
Raw.
Yep.
Grilled.
I like them raw too, but
I'll
I
take
would
them
say
anyway. They give
almost
them to
every
me.
dozen I've had has
Grilled.
been grilled. Yeah.
Grilled.
And they have the different varieties there besides the straight up
Bienville's
grilled oyster.
amazing.
Bienville and then Rockefeller.
Rockefeller
has
fantastic.
spinach. What
Yep.
did Bienville have on it? I
That's
should know
bacon,
this.
and
And
it's
the
like a garlic
spinach.
parmesan kind
Yeah.
of a thing.
And then
But Acme does a good job on just the Parmesan cheese, the whole thing.
Just standard like that,
They
yep.
really do a great job on that.
all right, enough of my New Orleans.
We haven't even really got into
Eating.
it yet. I mean, because you're going to be ad-libbing also while you're there.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
mean,
you'll throw
nobody-
some
I
randoms
can't believe
in
you're not
there.
I'm
having a
gonna
lucky
go to
dog. How
another
do you not
place.
have a lucky dog?
I don't think I've ever had a
Can't
lucky dog.
compare. Yeah, I've had lucky dogs. They're okay.
Do you like a lucky dog?
Sorry,
Right down the
the
street.
guy gets obsessed.
Is it
with
great?
Lucky
I don't think
Dog.
I've
A
had
lucky
it.
dog?
Lucky
I'm
dog.
checking
Great.
out some other places. I do have
Why not?
other things I have booked is a Saturday brunch at Ralph's on the Park, which is also owned by the Brennan family. Supposedly a lovely setting overlooking Mid-City Park, place I've never really hung out at much. And also Sunday brunch, a place called Gris Gris or Gris Gris, Gris.
That's gris.
Gris. I don't even know what that stands for,
It's
but
French.
it's supposed to be a nice,
Gray
and it's also in the Lower Garden District.
or Spanish. It's gray.
And then we've got Sunday dinner reservations at a place called Compere Lapin, which is owned and operated by a great chef, Nina Compton, who cut her teeth here in Miami, but she's originally from the islands, I think St. Lucia, and she brings some of that island Caribbean vibe to the New Orleans cuisine. And I've been in there for brunch. I've never been there for dinner, completely different menu. So I'm going to consider that like a place that's been around, well regarded, that I'm going to experience dinner there for the first time. So
Nice.
there you have it.
Nice.
you
6
go.
meals booked,
Wow.
reservations,
You want
and
to meet
other
at the
pit
Waffle House?
stops to come.
Yeah, exactly.
How about the Waffle
I don't
House?
even know if I could eat after listening to what
So-
Mayo's going to consume, but you have to go for it there. I mean,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
definitely a little over the top here. That's packing a lot of meals into a short period of time.
Yep.
But I mean, it sounds
If
great.
anybody could,
It's
you know,
Mayo. I mean,
If anybody can do it, you can.
Now, okay, now with Belle,
Here's another-
does she keep pace with you on all this? Or
she's a good, she doesn't eat as much as me, but she likes to eat. She also
does
likes.
she give you any kind of a look at any time?
No,
during a meal?
this is
No?
why
Oh,
we're
wow,
a perfect match.
All
She
right.
doesn't give me any looks. In fact, she enjoys
None of
the
that. Are
finer.
you going to finish that?
No, she
Okay.
enjoys the finer things in life. She loves champagne.
Oh, okay.
She loves a drink called the French 75,
All right.
which I don't know if you know what's in a French 75,
I'm
I
afraid
don't,
to ask, yeah.
but apparently some people have given
Any
her
aphrodisiacs? What's
some
in it?
people have given her advice that there's a great French 75 to be had at a some lounge bar in New Orleans where they do a little different spin on it. So we're going to be checking that place out.
All right.
Before I go forward
Maple Leaf
into New
Bar, any
Orleans,
chance? So you're going to the Maple Leaf.
oh, absolutely.
Okay,
That's
good.
one of my favorite music venues.
Leaf is good.
Isn't there another one like Wolf? Something.
A lot of different places.
Right
but,
across the street from the Maple Leaf, there's another one.
Oh, no, no,
something
no,
tavern.
There was a woman selling I mean, she had like a food stand of some sort, and it looked very, very appealing. What they had, because I don't think they sell food at the Maple Leaf.
No,
so,
and
so they
there's
had just a
usually
woman out there with like a grill and all kinds of stuff, and it looked really, really good.
there's usually some late night dining outside these music clubs
Yeah.
that go till
Oh, yeah,
4 in the
for sure.
morning. And one of the New Orleans street foods that I love, and Tom Tanazzini, he's working now today up the Riverside South in Fort Lauderdale, but he's been making it and dishing it out. It's called Yakka Men, which is a spinoff of Chinese noodle soup called Yakka Men, but in New Orleans they just call it Yakka. They remove the T. Yakka Men is like the hangover cure, where it's like a beef noodle soup. They drop a kind of soft-boiled egg in there with some other vegetables, and you slurp that stuff down after a night of imbibing, and it's supposedly you feel fresh as a daisy in the morning. So
Nice.
I can't imagine that's true. Yeah, I don't don't think I've ever felt fresh as
Fresh
a
as a
daisy,
daisy
waking up in
after
New Orleans.
after a full night of
It's
drinking in New
literally peel
Orleans.
yourself off the mat. There's no doubt.
So I
Yeah.
just want to recap yesterday.
Sounds exciting, though, Mike.
Oh
man.
no, I'm
happy
excited
for
about
you.
New
Yeah.
Orleans. But yesterday, we had a nice time at Gilbert's. But I want to show you. Okay, I'm saying one meal at a time. The problem with me now is the frequency and the
Yes.
intermittency of
Well,
between
you got
meals.
2 dinners planned tonight.
It's-
I mean,
it's-
you haven't left here yet.
It's going a little bit crazy in the fact that I'm again alarmed by the amount that I could eat and the shortening gaps between the meals. So
Yeah.
yesterday, Gilbert's, yes, down in Fort Lauderdale, 17th Street. Lenore, Beth, Richie, they again slaughtered us. They put out this beautiful display, and I actually picked up and wouldn't let Lubie cut into his little baby bite quarters. I picked up and had one of that beautiful new.
When you
special.
down that whole burger, that was impressive.
It
You
was
had
a
already eaten quite a
tomatillo.
bit. Yeah.
It was a tomatillo topping that Corwin,
Looked
the
good.
chef there, made.
Looked
It was
really good.
great.
I want to go there.
And I couldn't. I
Oh, you'll
actually
like it.
did
They
not
do a
eat the
great
whole
job.
thing. I cut off a little corner from my buddy neighbor Scott, who showed up. So,
Nice.
but when you factor in all the other things I ate, the fish,
It was a giant bun. It really was. I
It
mean,
was-
the bun itself.
it was good. It was very satisfying. I was not hungry, but then I started going around, making the rounds, saying hi to some of our friends at different restaurants, making sure we were set for our schedule and
Future
appearances for
visits.
next week, next month. This month. It's March. Happy March, everybody.
Happy March.
And
We're going to be next Thursday.
one of the people, well, funny you should mention it, Tony Segreto. We're going to be at our friend Brian at Wicked
Oh, Wicked.
Cheesesteaks and
Wicked.
Oh, you
more.
got to come out. Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale. So I stopped in there yesterday. I saw Brian. Things seem to be doing better. He's got some new staff. They were,
Oh,
throwing
good.
out, all,
thank goodness.
whipping up the cheesesteaks, the lobster rolls, all his favorites. But he has come up with a new recipe, a new sandwich that was a recipe given to him by a friend of his for a chicken meatball. So it is a
Okay.
meat-free, red meat-free
red meat-free.
meatball. It is a chicken meatball that is had a little bit of cheese and herbs and breadcrumbs. Brian comes out with this beautiful, absolutely crusty, cheesy, melty, golden brown
Like a sand, he did like a
meatball
hero.
sub
Okay.
with the new chicken meatballs. Brian's like, I'm hungry. I'll have half of this, and then he gave me the other half. He says, "You got to have a try.
Oh
it.
Jesus!
Have a
You
bite."
just come from Gilbert.
I just come from Gilbert's. I took a.
You
I
can't
took a
say no.
fork.
You can't say
I just
no.
had to taste the chicken meatball.
Yeah.
All right, this chicken meatball was so freaking
Oh,
good
yeah?
Really?
that I then picked up the rest of the half of the
course
sub,
you
and I
Did a
ate the
big
whole
bite?
thing.
Oh, my God.
And I said, I am not hungry at all, but I cannot stop eating it. That's how good it was. So he is putting it on the menu. We
That's
are going to be
another
trying
book
it
title.
next Thursday.
I'm
Next
not
Thursday.
hungry
The
at all. but I
over
can't
under is no
stop
longer
eating.
going to be calculated in pounds. It's going to be in dates.
It could be in tons.
That's when you have to start worrying.
Oh,
Could be
Yeah,
in
yeah.
tons. And
Yeah.
then I met an old college friend up in Palm Beach, and we went out. I checked out my friend Jeremy Berman, James Beard nominated chef at Oceano Kitchen, which recently moved.
This was
From
after all
Lance-
this?
This was about
wow.
4 hours
Yeah,
later.
it's a
But we
dinner.
had a nice meal at Oceano Kitchen, which again was one of my favorite restaurants in South Florida when it was in this little house, kind of small wooden outdoor deck. They had a kind of scramble and move because the whole block is being demolished. So they got a new location in Lake Worth on Lucerne Avenue. What a nice little strip up there. Do you know if
Nah,
anybody's
Yeah, that
familiar?
is nice.
Lake Avenue and Lucerne Avenue are like twins going, one goes one way,
Yeah.
one goes the other as
Yeah.
it goes out to the beach. And, lots of happening stuff out there. Oceano Kitchen, they're doing a great job. It's much bigger. It's got a much bigger kitchen.
Whatever happened to Casa Vecchia?
Casa Vecchia went by the wayside because that was one of those great classic restaurants
What a-
in a house.
God, what a restaurant.
Yeah. And wasn't there like the Down Under was
Yeah,
owned by
Down
the
Under.
same guy?
Yeah, there was a third one too.
Something. Yes. No. Oh no. Now you stumped me, Tony. Maybe we'll put it on the quiz next week, the contest.
What are you doing with the contest? You got
I think
anything
we're gonna
going with
start
that?
it.
Yeah, okay.
There
Let's
we
do
go.
it. And we
Let's
got to do a
do
first
it.
commercial break. And we'll get to Joe Beja and we'll talk about tacos and
Joe
tequila
B's here.
tomorrow.
Yeah, he's on the scene.
Beautiful. But meanwhile, let's start up this contest. It's
Found a youth
everybody's
tomorrow, too.
big race. That's
Wow.
the contest race.
Is Hades
Big
in there?
card. We've got 9 horses in the race. We've got like 5 or 6 stakes races on the card. 14 race card, Defo. Bring money and have lots of ammo because 14 races on the card. The last one, the Fountain of Youth, the big one, is going off at 6:10 p.m.
Okay.
Who's in it?
My suggestion is either don't start gambling till the 7th race so you have money, or make sure you have backup reserves in case the first part of the day is a complete disaster.
Complete disaster.
But here we go. It's time for this week's Lunchbox Gulfstream 10 Palm Sunday Brunch giveaway. Email the answer to this week's restaurant trivia questions along with your horse selection, numbers 1 through 9, for the big contest race, the Fountain of Youth Stakes. And we're going to keep going with the NBA game tiebreaker because that makes my life easier.
He
Tony
lost
would
tonight.
have FAU Tulane.
No, I'm not doing FAU Tulane.
He lost the game, the
We're going to
rematch
make
of the
it
finals last night.
easy
in
for
the close
everybody. We're going to make it now for the next few weeks until we get into the NCAA tournament. We're going to make it the NBA game of the week that's on ABC on Saturday nights. Okay.
All right.
And you're going to email those 3 components: the restaurant name, a horse number and name, and the winning team and margin in tomorrow night's. It's going to be a game between the Denver Nuggets, reigning NBA champions, and the resurgent Los Angeles Lakers at the Staples Center in LA.
All right.
The Lakers have won 7 out of their last 10, and they're climbing up the standings. And if you give me the margin, those 3 things,
Denver
email
beat
them.
the Heat last night.
Email those 3 components to MikeMayoEats@gmail.com by what time, Lubie?
Noon. 12
Noon
p.m. tomorrow.
And we're not talking New Orleans time because it's a little hour later there. I'm
Eastern
talking about
time.
noon Eastern. I'm going to be checking my emails by 11 a.m. when I head into my brunch, and anything that lands after 11 a.m. Central time, 12 p.m. Eastern, gets voided or thrown
It's
right
the last
to the
race,
I don't know
right?
why you're so bitter
it's
about
the last
this.
race,
Yes,
right?
again,
He's
let
very
me
bitter.
reiterate. The contest race is Saturday's 14th and final race at Gulfstream
It's the last
Park.
race. Don't worry about
The
that.
$400,000 Coolmore Fountain of Youth Stakes for top 3-year-olds going a mile and a 16th
Who's in it?
on the main track. 9-horse field. Among the favorites is
So 1 through 9.
a 2-1 favorite is Dornoch, which is the name of a famous golf course and area in Scotland. I don't know if you know that.
What's it called?
I
did
had
not.
a story, not too flattering one, about my round at Dornoch, but we're not going to tell that today because it's lunch hour. But Dornoch, trained by Danny Gargan, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. There is no Hades in this race.
No?
Locked is the second choice from the Todd Pletcher barn.
Is there some new phenom that's going in this thing that everybody was talking about?
I
Or
don't
am
know.
wrong
We've
about
got Locked, might be a phenom. We've got other horses contending is Victory Avenue from the George Delgado barn. Pletcher has another one, 9-2 with Irad Ortez. Speak Easy.
Who are you
That's from
picking?
Winstar.
Who are you picking?
I'm gonna you know what? I'm gonna go with a little bit of a long shot flyer here. I'm gonna do a Real Macho, Tyler Gaffleon,
All right.
at 8-1. I'm gonna do a Real Macho with Speakeasy, a 4 over the 1-5-8, the other chalky horses. So we'll see how that goes. But you guys get your numbers 1 through 9 in, and let's finally start the clues. Okay, for this week's contest. For this
How
week's
far
contest.
fenced is this one? Is it way out there?
Well, I don't know. We're gonna see. I think
A friend of mine
you're
asked me the other
definitely
day.
not gonna get it.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think Tony might get it. Joe Beja, he got here. All right, let's just do it.
All right.
We celebrate the beginning of Women's History Month with a bygone restaurant that was kind of helmed by a woman. The clues. This restaurant opened in 2006 in Miami's then gritty MIMO neighborhood. That stands for Midtown Modern Neighborhood.
Got it, Tony?
And bore the shortened nickname of its founding chef owner. And its unpretentious setting and delicious comfort food marked a radical departure from her upscale haute cuisine that she mastered at Azul at the Mandarin Oriental Hotel previously. That's what put her first on the map. But this was the second restaurant
Okay.
that was, the name is a nickname of her.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. All right.
Number 2,
Lost
do you have
completely.
any
You got
idea?
any idea?
No,
Tony?
one does nothing for me.
Nothing. Tony's been here forever, man.
One usually does nothing for me.
There's
What's
a
number
statue
2?
at Tony Segreto when you come to Miami.
The
Honestly.
restaurant featured a finger-licking good fried chicken and earned numerous awards and accolades. Food and Wine magazine named it among the country's best new restaurants in 2006,
Okay.
and it earned the chef James Beard Award honors, not just the nomination, but she actually won
Oh, wow.
Best Chef in the South in
Oh, wow.
2008.
Okay.
Number
Okay.
3, okay? Don't blurt out the name of the chef when you're going to know the
None
name
of
of the
us
chef.
No, we know.
We're
We
not gonna
know.
know
We
any
know
of
where you're going now.
But I'm just curious.
Yeah.
The restaurant closed in 2014, but its namesake chef is now regarded as one of South Florida's culinary treasures,
Okay.
perhaps best known for her TV work, including the
Okay.
popular local PBS show
But we're looking for the
Check Please South
restaurant,
Florida.
right? Now we're looking for the
We're
chef that you know
not looking
well.
for her name.
Yeah.
We're looking for the restaurant's name.
Okay.
Similar, but not the same.
Okay.
Along with her husband, David Martinez, she also now owns and operates Cafe La Trova on Calle Ocho in Miami and is going to be opening up a new restaurant in Coral Gables sometime later this year.
Nice.
Again, we're looking for the
All right, we all know who
name
you're
of
talking
the
about.
shuttered
Yeah.
restaurant that operated from 2006 to 2014. I went there many times. I love the fried chicken. I love her. I think she's going to be a guest on the show
I was
before
thinking-
the new season of Check
Nice.
Please South
That'd be
Florida.
great. We've never had her
But
on.
we need the name
This
of the
shows.
restaurant. Send that name of the restaurant. Send the name or number of a horse, 1 through 9. That's going to
And
win
then
the
what were the
Fountain of
other
Youth.
parts of the criteria?
And then the game.
How many points Hondo Halmachek had last time?
No.
And then the Nuggets
Who's
Lakers
gonna win?
tomorrow.
Give it
by,
Malone
by
on
how much?
Saturday.
Who's going to win Nuggets Lakers tomorrow night on ABC,
By how much?
ESPN, and by how much? That's
There
it.
you
Send
go.
it to Mike
and the
Mayo.
winning
Eats.
horse, Found of Youth.
I already mentioned that.
Okay.
Raise 14.
Stay with me.
Go to break. Go to commercial
Let's
break.
go to break. Let's
And yes, and she
wait,
does
wait.
love Delaware chicken farm
Oh,
and
thank
seafood
you.
market.
Let's do a commercial. But let's talk about Delaware seafood and chicken.
The best.
We love them. Tony is become
yeah,
a regular
Tony's
shopper.
like-
He's a featured
I've been
guy
there.
Yeah.
reverence there.
My parents used to go there.
That's
I used
great.
to go there when I was a kid.
That's classic.
Tony goes in there. He just marvels at the turkey legs and the sausages.
Yeah,
And
but
he says,
he
"How
doesn't
much is that doggy in the window? That hot doggy in the window?"
That's
He
sausage.
doesn't snore. He doesn't stare at like an empty case and go, geez, where are the stones?
And by the way, my daughter says, "Oh, and your friend keeps coming in every Saturday to
Every
Grandpa's
Saturday.
and buying the bagels.
Oh,
You
nice.
probably do a double, don't you? You get some great bagels at our
And then you
sponsors
go
and
over to
friends at
Delaware.
Grandpa's.
Yeah.
Then you go shoot right across Sterling and right to Delaware Chicken and Seafood. It's at 4191 North State Road 7. It's open every day. They feature the finest selection, quality, price, value, service, whatever you want. They got it there. It's a great place for if you're going to just have a little casual dinner with family or throwing a nice dinner party, whatever you want. They've got beautiful poultry. They've got the nice steaks, pork products, and, of course, the seafood can't be beat. Stone crab claws, Key West pink shrimp. They got grouper. They got snapper. They got halibut. Everything you want.
Anything you
Delaware.
possibly want,
Yep.
you get it there.
DelawareChicken.com is the website that has the weekly specials, the daily offerings. Better yet, go in there because the place is pristine, and you will just be like Tony Segreto, drooling as you look around and all that great quality product.
You've
The
got a
sausage-
drooling
the sausage-
Segreto in this
Oh,
spot?
no, he
Sausage
drools when
alone.
he's there.
Wow,
Yeah,
a
when he's
drooling
there, he
Segreto,
drools.
ladies and gentlemen.
So, again, tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
All right, we're coming back with more here from 10 Palms, Gulfstream Park. Beautiful. Second race coming up. Mayo's giving out. Who did you give out? You gave out a long shot in the Fountain of Youth.
I'm
No?
just going with the number 4, Real Macho, because that's what I'm going to be this weekend. Real Macho. Just
To see what
strutting
happens.
around New
I hope
Orleans.
you don't run out of gas early on the food circuit.
Me?
That's
Run out
I
of gas?
mean, you're
Look
very,
at me. I'm like the universe. I'm constantly expanding.
We'll be right
He's got
back.
all the credentials.
You're looking for an exquisite sushi experience? Kaizen Sushi Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale is the place to go. 5640 North Federal Highway, just north of Commercial Boulevard. Chef owner Hui Lam, he's a sushi savant, slicing and serving pristine fish and seafood flown in directly from Japan and around the world. Nigiri, sashimi, special rolls, and omakase dinners. He's ruined me from going anywhere else. It's that good. Open 7 days for dinner and also for lunch on weekends. Even if you're not a sushi fan, they have great cooked options, including steaks, chops, rice and noodles, and other Japanese dishes. It's fantastic. For reservations and information, go to kaizenflorida.com. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new birria tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, It's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox. It's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Oh, we're back on the Lunchbox, and look who showed up.
Surprise.
The ever dapper Joe Beja, Executive Director of Hospitality. It's been a couple of weeks, Joe.
It has.
Good
it
to
has.
see you again.
I played a little hooky last week. I went down to the South Beach Food and Wine Festival.
It's Industry Day on Friday afternoon,
It sure
right?
was. It sure was. It was
How
actually
was
a lot
that?
of fun. It was good. I enjoyed it for all the different activations. It's great to see what the different brands put together. Pop-up bars, and like Coca-Cola had an amazing activation. They were giving away beach hats and had a pizza
Now, you
oven.
told me you also took part as kind of a participant, fan, spectator in the Burger Bash the previous night.
I did. I went to
Thursday?
Burger Bash, and I did on Thursday night. I love burgers, so I mean, it's always a good time for me. I enjoyed it. Lines to me were a little bit long this year, but
And this brings me, I used to go, I was never an official judge for Burger Bash, but in the interest of science and research, I tried to eat as many of the 32 offerings that they had. And I think I made it to 27 one year.
oh wow,
Just little bites.
27
I never get it out of the teens.
I got gout the
Um,
next day.
yeah.
Hard to believe.
Yeah, I mean, but some of them, like I'm a
Probably
big
got
fan
a
of
kidney
Ted's
left,
Burgers
yeah.
down in Miami, and the line for Ted's was like, okay, I'm just gonna go down and buy a burger for $15 and stand in line for
There you go.
20 minutes for a half a burger.
That's part of the issues down there. When you get those big tenements, it gets a little
It's so
bit
crowded, people don't show up.
And
Yeah,
as
right.
opposed to
There you
Nobody
go.
goes there anymore.
this
It's too
is
crowded.
well. Before we get into the perfect lead-in of how you have the right-sized events like tomorrow's tacos and tequila, I did have a question for you, which I should ask you off air, but I've never been afraid to ambush one of our good friends. You realize that the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival is going to be, for the first time this year in May, celebrating Burger Month with a 954 Burger Month. And Phil was asking me, does Gulfstream and 10 Palms have a burger that maybe could be spotlighted as part of the festivities for
Sure.
May Burger Month?
Absolutely.
So I'm sure you and your culinary team will be able to come up with something
Absolutely.
that will dovetail nicely with 9-5 Burger Month
Yeah.
in May. And hey, maybe even like a Kentucky Derby burger. I don't know, put some bourbon and no mint julep on a burger. I don't think
No,
like that,
no,
but-
Bourbon,
but-
a bourbon
a great
burger.
burger
But
is
you
a
never
track,
know.
though.
Good bourbon barbecue sauce.
or the
You know.
Preakness. You could have different
different.
for the Triple Crown races.
Yeah, we actually have a
in May.
crab cake sandwich special
Before
today.
said you
It's
can-
already
great.
been demolished.
Is it
Did you
good?
see what they did?
Good.
They didn't
I ate
even
the whole
leave me
thing.
any.
Yeah.
It's great.
I didn't even
That-
taste it.
That recipe's from our track in Maryland. So we
I
actually
knew
we
it.
took their recipe.
I
It
said
is.
you
The
got
way
this
is.
from the Preakness
They said you
there.
got to
Come
try
on.
this mayo. Next thing I look up, it's all gone. They did the mayo on me.
Yeah.
Like they left a little bit
bite.
that picked
Yeah.
over.
The top
I'll
bun.
get into
Yeah.
that in a minute. But first of all, okay, I'm glad that you're going to be able to
So of course,
get involved with
have
the
someone send me if I can get all the
9-5.
info.
I
And
will get Phil and you
feature as a
together.
special. If there's an event that we need to do, let me know. So
Because I like your
goes
sliders
the
here.
last
on the-
bit.
Oh, there it goes. He didn't even save it. for
there
me.
you go.
What
Not
a
even no big
son
bites
of
for
a
you today.
bitch.
At least not from that.
Just order another one.
So tomorrow, I'm regretfully gonna miss the latest taste of the track edition. Big, Give me the bun. I don't.
So funny.
You can take your
Have the
bun
carbs.
and stick it. All right, now
Sure.
tomorrow,
Absolutely.
tacos, tequilas,
Absolutely.
and big stakes racing, capped by the Fountain of Youth 14th and final race. What do we got going on upstairs there in the Flamingo room, Joe?
So tickets still available. Not many, but we're at about 290 seats sold so far. We usually cap at about 350. We will still sell at the door, but if you go on our website for www.gulfstreampark.com, click on the link for the event, you can buy tickets. They are $85 for VIP and $60 for general admission. The VIP will get you in at noon.
That's the best $25 that you
Yeah.
can spend
Yes,
to get that
not
first
only do
hour.
you get an hour to yourselves, you get the seats on the window or at least close to the window, preferred seating, and then also some of the tequila vendors will be out there with some of the higher marks like the Don Julio Rosado and the Patron El Cielo and so forth. So there'll be some really
Now-
higher marks that you could sample neat in that first hour. And when they're gone, they're gone.
Now,
They have mezcal with the tequila.
What was that?
mezcals
mezcal?
also? Is it just pure tequila?
I will have a mezcal on the Casamigos table. I tried to get a mezcal on its own table. I did not succeed in that, but I'm a big fan of the mezcal. I enjoy
I
the
love
smokiness.
mezcal. Oh
Okay.
my god!
Yeah, Tony's
It's-
had some
it's-
incidents.
it's
We've had to
awesome.
keep it out of the news somehow. But now I am going to be absent. I'm going to New Orleans this weekend for my first kind of little R&R getaway in a very long time. So it is with much regret that I will not be there. However, I think Mike Lubitz might be playing
Absolutely.
the role of Mike Mayo this weekend.
No worries.
Not
Star
only
of
is
the
he
week,
going,
yeah.
he's going.
There you
Here's
go.
Lubie.
That'd be good.
Lubie tonight
Yeah.
is making his maiden voyage to our friend Joey Esposito at Cafe Seville.
Oh,
Him
yeah.
and the
All
Sherl
right.
had never been there before.
Oh,
They're
wow.
celebrating a couple of things. So they're
What-
going to be first going into Cafe
Celebrating what?
Seville tonight. And that's
Got a lot
at
of
8
stuff
o'clock.
going.
And Joey has a whole gang, his crew from University of Kentucky football. Head coach Mark Stoops and the gang are going to be in there tonight. So Lubie is very
Wow.
excited because Mark Stoops used to be the defensive coordinator at FSU, his alma mater. So I'm sure he, it'll be a nice time for you guys.
It's
And then
a
tomorrow-
great dinner.
Try not to
It's-
disrupt his
it's
dinner.
so
Lubie.
good.
And then tomorrow, I hope that you guys can make your way in here and check out the tacos and tequilas because I'll be in New Orleans eating everything and anything in sight. Joe, we were talking off air because I mentioned I'm going. Defo asked me earlier, what are your top 5 food cities in the country? I gave my list. What's your list?
So my list is San Francisco, obviously, and I guess we talked about maybe roping in the Napa Valley area into
wine
that.
country, and
Wine
San
country
Fran.
and
It's
San
close.
Fran.
Yep.
I enjoy San Fran. I really enjoy New Orleans. Lately, I've also enjoyed my times up in Charleston,
Not
and
beautiful.
and I can't include a list without including New York and Chicago, obviously.
Does Miami almost make the cut? South Florida? I put it in my top 5 now.
Did you?
Chicago.
Hmm.
Because I call like Charleston is like the smaller cities, but a great food cities. Charleston, Portland,
Yeah.
Maine, Portland, Oregon. Those are like my smaller, like middle tier cities. But New Orleans, even though it's a smaller city, heavyweight in every way when it comes to food. So
Okay, honestly, I guess because I'm here, I didn't think of it. I just thought of traveling to my favorite food cities. Maybe
okay.
that's why.
yeah,
So, but yeah, no, Miami's got some great places too, and even outposts from other cities. Like
Yeah.
Pastis opening up and so forth.
Where do you rank Vegas now? Because everybody opens up there, but it's all like second, branches and knockoffs.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I used to live out there back in the day, and I used to love Andres because that was really only a private little area in downtown. And he opened up one place in Monte Carlo one time at the Monte Carlo back when it was the Monte Carlo before the Park Avenue or Park Hotel, Park MGM.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, again, I guess with the whole touristy thing, I don't weigh Vegas as much
Yeah,
of
it
a.
doesn't feel like it's
Doesn't
own
feel
thing.
like it's
just
correct.
Yeah. I guess, but it is a fine city to eat in and play.
No.
But in any event, let's get back to this place. It's going to be hopping this month. We're in March. We've got tacos and tequilas and the big
Fountain
Fountain
of
of
Youth
Youth
Day.
tomorrow. But then
Fountain of Youth
there's
Day.
5 Saturdays in this month
Yep.
and 5 Fridays, which means 5 shows here.
Mhm.
But the end of the month, you've got not only the big race, the Florida Derby, but you're going to be doing another kind of upscale taste
Absolutely.
of the track,
Right,
right?
we'll be doing an upscale taste of the track. That'll be wine and derby. So we'll be pouring wines from California mostly, some Oregon wines as well. We'll be pouring everything and from bubbles to rosé to Sauv Blancs, Chardonnays, all different kinds of reds. Some good name brands. We'll be pouring some wines from the Camus family. Such as like Conundrum
Oh, wow.
and Bonanza, and we'll have Gun Bun will be here. Gunlock Bunshu.
Oh, good. That's good.
So-
That's high
so,
quality
Yeah,
stuff
the
from
Pinot
the Napa
Noir and
Valley.
their Mountain Cuvée is
Yeah.
very good. So there'll be some great, outstanding wines. That's a little more elevated. Tickets will be VIP will be
It's
one.
a big day.
Yes, so there'll be
Florida
carving
Derby.
stations. There'll be pasta stations. It's going to be like going to a buffet in 10 Palms.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. And I guess the capping it about the same capacity for
About the
that
same
day?
capacity. We might go a little lower, and I'm trying to way to provide more seating. Usually, when we do our taste of the tracks, we do seating for about 260, and we capacity about 350. So there's 90 people that will stand at High Boys and so forth. So I'll try to minimize the amount of people that are standing, especially for the price of the ticket. So it'll be what, 175 for VIP and 125 for the GA.
Going to be a big, big month, and you get those tickets for whatever event you want. Gulfstreampark.com/events.
Correct.
And don't forget now, how's that Saturday morning? The backstretch breakfast.
And
You
the
have
tour, yeah.
breakfast, and then the backstretch.
We're
tour.
getting about 50 to 75 people every
Really?
Saturday.
Have you ever done that, Defo? You ever want to go breakfast? in the
I always
backstretch?
love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I
Love that.
I love the backstretch.
I love that more than
It's one of the
anything.
great scenes in thoroughbred racing. A lot of people just think of the stoopers with the pork pie hats at the rail, but there's so many layers to the sport that are fantastic, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
Magnificence of the morning scene out here, and
It's great.
that's a great way to experience it.
And
It
if
really
people
is.
want to take part, what do they do? They just show up in the
You
walking
just
ring?
show up, no reservations needed. Just go towards the winner's circle. The
What
buffet
time?
is by the winner's circle. We start at 7:30 and go
Saturdays only.
Saturdays only for the rest of the month, except for Florida Derby Day. Just a little bit too busy of a day to do it that day. So
How do you do in 10 Palms on a day like today? You nice and full. I can see.
we are nice and full. We're doing about 310 covers today.
Peak
So
season.
a la carte, peak season. So it's a la carte too. So some ticket times might creep up to like 30 minutes or so, but we do our best. And if a ticket seems like my old Ritz-Carlton days, if a ticket seems like it's dragging a little bit, we'll send out a crudité or a cheese platter to keep you going until the food comes out. So just so we don't get too many complaints, to be honest with you. So we're very fortunate in that sense.
People are here all day anyway, so it's
Yeah.
a good thing. Yeah,
It's a
no one's in a
beautiful
hurry.
helps.
Yeah.
And you,
And we've got one of our contest winners coming out this Sunday, the Sunday brunch, as usual, $55.
And when do you close? Like
last race, right?
Today will be last race. So I think last race day is 5:08. So we'll do last call and we'll close at 5.
And of course, the Sunday brunch buffet, $50. It's a great deal, plus tax and tip, but it comes included with the mimosa. We've got one of our contest winners coming out this Sunday. We've got great feedback from 2-party contest winners that were out last Sunday. Always gratifying to hear.
Yes.
Joe Beja, keep up the great work.
Thank
It's
you.
always a pleasure to see you. And when I see you next Friday, I will probably be 5 to 10 pounds heavier.
We hope so. We hope so.
But-
Sodium
So we get a little bit of
bloodbath,
everything. A little po' boy,
Sodium
muffaletta.
Yep, it's
Beignets.
all good. Hey, let me put in the good word about our friends at Tropical Acres. We're coming up to the weekend, and treat yourself to a beautiful dinner experience at Tropical Acres. It opens up today at 4:30. Happy hour starts in the bar. It is on a Friday, 4:30 to 6:30. Get your half-price drinks and light bites in there. Then amble on over to the main dining room where you get the finest in steaks and seafood, whatever you want. They do a beautiful job. We were in there earlier this week. I'm still dreaming of that prime rib. Beautiful, ruby
cut.
red,
Unbelievable, yeah.
juicy, and that spinalis on the outside, that little fatty ribbon that Jack Studiali was trimming and cutting and just like
You were
handing
all
it
over
over
it,
to
man.
me.
You
Yeah.
were in heaven.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a food guy. You know
Yeah.
what's the best part of
Tropical
any
Acres is a
piece of
classic.
steak?
Yeah.
The
Yeah, of course.
spinalis. You got
Yeah.
that. Got to have that. And if you're into having the fish on a Friday, they got great seafood. The scallops that Mustang loves. They also have stone crabs and fish dishes. Whatever you want, go in there. Tropical Acres is open every day but Sunday. And tell them the Lunchbox sent you. And then make your reservations now. Easter Sunday, they will be open. for one of their holiday dining experiences.
Yeah.
Give them a call, 954-989-2500, 954-989-2500 for your Easter Sunday and any other day that you want to get in there. Just give them a call. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
All right, we're hoping Mike makes some money in the next couple of minutes so he can have a good time in New Orleans. Joe Pesci, always a pleasure.
Pleasure
Segredo
being here.
here, man, eyeballing everything. I mean,
That crab cake sandwich.
that
I would have
disappeared.
loved
That
to.
was all on
Well, I
me. You
don't
might
need
have
it.
to get another one. Yeah.
That was all on you.
All right, we're
It looked great.
coming
Yeah.
back with more in a moment.
Comfort food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar. A great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting? Have I got the place for you? Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi, fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova, or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, welcome back. I've got a little bit of the snapper in my mouth. It's beautiful. They do a really nice job with
They do a great job with
seafood
the fish.
and fish here.
They really do. They
and
really,
especially
really
now
do.
during that Lenten season when Fridays is meatless.
Friday's
was-
meatless.
Somebody was asking, Joe Casale, I think, posted something like he heard a rumor that there was dispensation for people over a certain age, like over
70.
that you don't have to adhere to the meat-free Fridays? Is this true or false?
Yeah, true.
It is.
Well, health
True.
purposes. I mean, a lot of the time religion does that. I mean,
True.
your health always comes first.
It's like, yeah, they say your health, but I think it's just like, if you make it so,
well, I'm saying,
to a
why do you
long-
need red
long-
meat? That's not make you healthier.
But you know what? I try to eat fish anyway, so
Yeah, why not? There's so much, especially down here. There's so much varieties of fish. Like
So
you'll be
many-
fine.
yeah.
And you can do seafood too, right? Like shellfish is fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So there's nothing. I mean, there's plenty of stuff.
And the seafood here is different than the seafood in
Yeah, up
Vermont
north,
and
exactly.
Maine.
Yep.
You
When
The
you get
cold-
cod or
the
whatever.
cold
up there.
water fish is a much different flavor than the hot water or
warm water, yep.
fish.
Yeah, it's it's a nice thing. I need a little bit more fish in my life because just because look at me. But I'm going to New Orleans.
The fish you're getting this
So,
weekend is not going to be that kind of
Have you
fish.
checked the weather, man?
I am going to be. I did not yet. I'm a little bit behind. I'm gonna again. I one meal at a time.
Very
I'm still
sloppy
on lunch.
conditions at the fairgrounds.
It means it might be a little bit
Rained in, yeah.
Not the greatest place to be in inclement weather, New Orleans.
Why are you being a Debbie
Well,
Downer?
hopefully it clears
It's a
out.
great
We're
place.
hoping it clears
Every
up.
by
restaurant
tonight.
I made a reservation in, indoor dining room.
There you
Yeah, but
go.
you have to get there. You got to
There
schlep there. And it's,
Oh, now you
What
like
time
you
is your
sounded
flight?
like
But
my
it's-
mother.
it's this
I'm a
evening.
little worried, Michael. It's gonna be
I'm
it's
just
gonna
looking
be
at
rainy. Oh, it might
It's
be
the one place in the
delays.
country where it's not beautiful.
Ring me, text me when you get there. I
Yeah.
still hear
There
her
you go.
voice in my
Yeah,
head, even
yeah.
though she's gone. God bless her. Hey, couple of things before we
Bring an
take our
umbrella.
last break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You could
Bring an umbrella. I'm just
Yeah,
telling you,
thank
bring an
thank you.
umbrella.
Wally,
The
the
weather's
weatherman.
horrendous right now, but you'll be all right.
You'll
I'm
be all right.
sure it'll.
That always figures itself out.
You know-
Looks like it's clearing up as we speak.
Okay. I wanted to give a warm lunchbox welcome. It's March 1st. We got some new sponsors on board, gentlemen.
yeah?
Look at you.
I am very pleased and happy to announce that long time, I've been a big fan of this place. I reviewed it positively when I was at the Sun Sentinel as the restaurant critic. Hui Lam and Kaizen Restaurant, Kaizen Sushi
You love this
Bar
place.
and Grill. Well, I think anybody
That
who
place is
knows and
fantastic.
appreciates sushi knows what a wonderful job. I call him a sushi savant. Say that.
He really
4 times
is.
fast.
No,
Sushi savant.
He's a
Sushi savant.
sushi PhD is what I would
Sushi,
call him.
sushi.
He's like a doctor. The sushi doctor is what I would
He's
call him.
got knife collection. He's got $5,000 knives. It's
The guy's great.
It's
Yeah,
like
he really-
Dr.
He was
Christian
classy.
Bernard with
Yeah.
his
He was
cutlery.
classic.
Where's he located?
He is located up on Federal Highway, 5640 North Federal Highway.
Was it
It used to
south
be
of Commercial?
Bangusto,
Yes,
it's
yes.
I used to
just
go there
north,
frequently. Yeah.
just north of Commercial
North of
Boulevard,
Commercial.
across from that was it Coral Ridge Church, or the Westminster Academy is the school right across the street.
There you
So
go.
welcome to We're going to actually welcome him with
officially in
a
person.
Lunchbox remote show from Kaizen next Wednesday. Now,
Nice.
during the week, he's not open for lunch. It's dinner only, starting I think at 4 or 5 o'clock. But on weekends, he does offer lunch service because it's a great time to go. It's not as crowded, and we'll be in there to kind of just welcome him to the program.
Sushi savant.
He is a sushi savant.
Hmm.
Kui Lam, and again, Kaizen Sushi Bar and Grill, 5640 North Federal Highway, just north of Commercial. So thank you, Kui and Kaizen. I look forward to getting in there. And welcome back
Welcome
in
back.
a way, Prezzo Italian Restaurant.
Oh, yeah,
and,
back in.
and
Nice.
a new, Eddie Pizzoli has a new management company. It's called P Hospitality.
All right.
And besides Prezzo, he's also doing a lot of stuff with Corvina Seafood Grill in Boca Raton. Very nice upscale seafood restaurant. And so we're going to be paying a visit to Corvina later this month. And again, Corvina and Prezzo, part of P Hospitality, they call it. And he's on board as a official Lunchbox sponsor. Thanks so much to P Hospitality. Prezzo, they do a fantastic job. 2 locations, Boca and Palm Beach Gardens, for really nice, accessible Italian for the whole family, and a Corvina Seafood Grill, upscale seafood in Boca Raton. So thanks to those. We got to take one more break.
Yes.
And
Okay.
before we do that, let me talk about our friends at Batch, the new Southern Kitchen and Tap. Go in there this weekend. They do a great Sunday, actually
their brunch
weekend
is
brunch,
fantastic.
Saturday and Sunday. Bottomless drinks available for a surcharge of $25. Very reasonable if you have a couple of drinks.
And it does lean Southern, but like we've learned, it's not necessarily Southern. So it's
They got salads.
food of all kinds and all calibers and all different levels, and they do a fantastic job on the brunch.
But if you went there, you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't try some of those great
Well, you got to
things.
get the biscuits.
shrimp
I mean,
and
just get
grits.
the bit. You have to at least get the biscuits. That's like an automatic if you go out to
Chicken
Bash.
and waffles, shrimp and grits. They have those skillets, the Southern skillets with
Yeah, that was fantastic.
chicken over grits for brunch. They have a spiced shrimp with the eggs
Spicy
Benedict,
Cajun
shrimp
Benedict,
with
which
the
is
hollandaise. That's
ridiculous.
on point. It's at 525 North Federal Highway, and there's free parking in the garage right next
Yes,
door on that
sir.
side street. So it's very convenient, very delicious, good value. Go in there. We love Kevin and friends, and they're Lunchbox approved. All right. We'll be back to wrap up this edition, and I'm off to New Orleans to just start my eating orgy after these words. People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Mayo here for Prezzo Italian Restaurants. 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information, go to eatprezzo.com. All right, we're back. It's almost the weekend. A little bit of overtime. I forgot to ask the question of the day. Did you see this post, Defo, on Let's Eat? That there's this truck where they're selling, it says a big truck that has on the side, buy 20 ribeyes for $39.99.
Yeah.
People
Get
are
outta
going crazy. So the question to you is
it real?
would you buy meat from the back of a truck?
No.
I have.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, for sure.
Many
I was going to
times,
say Defo's definitely
Why
done
does
it.
that not
Defo
surprise
100%
me?
done it.
One of my great friends, and it was a longtime sponsor of mine, really kind of carried me through a lot of my career in terms of endorsing what I was doing. A guy named Jim Dunn was general manager at JM Lexus.
Right.
He was a big Chicago guy. He was originally from Chicago. And we're in Chicago for a Dolphins game. And he drives me with his buddy into an area that you would never, ever want to be in this place at that time of night.
Okay.
Car pulls over to the side in front of him and opens up the trunk, and they were buying sausage out of the trunk. And it was the best crap I ever had in my life. Yeah.
So you are not
You would have thought
hesitant.
there was a body in the trunk.
Maybe you
And
should
in
be our
Chicago.
I
official.
wasn't even hesitant to bring it back
Why
home.
don't
on
you
the
go
plane.
try that for us and tell us about what it's like?
I'm always in the.
I
the
want
black
you
market
to
is
be
my
our
favorite
official
market.
guinea pig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This post blew up. Some people have had experience with this truck apparently, and we're not exactly raving about the quality.
I was going to say,
I
is it
can't believe
$5 a steak?
It sounds like Tad's.
No,
What is that? That's
no.
even less. That's like two.
Is that your
So it's
FSU
30, so
graduate?
it's 39 each.
Okay, $40.
$40.
Divided by 20.
Yeah, so it's $2. Are they really
There
charging
you go.
$2 a steak?
$2 a steak.
Like I could do the math easily, but I just thought that was ridiculous.
No, you said $5.
I just that's a
That's
burger
for
at
a
McDonald's is
high-quality
even more
bony
money than
ribeye,
$2.
yeah.
I want to know is how thin are these? Like
Oh,
those
it's gotta
3D
be-
steaks, or you make it on a copying machine where it
Yeah,
comes
that's
out
ridiculous.
like the ribeye is this thick?
Tad Steakhouse was
Yeah, but even
$1.98.
then-
Remember that Tad Steakhouse?
Yeah,
That was
but-
in 1970.
but even
Defo.
then,
in today's
come on,
dollars,
right
that's like-
now,
getting old
Chuck
school
isn't $2 right now. Like that's ridiculous.
I don't know.
what to do
People are
with that.
going wild on it. And again, some people who have actually apparently it's an outfit that like changes their name and corporate
Oh, good. Yeah,
info
that's
every
standard.
2 days. That's really it fills you with
That
confidence.
leaves them somewhat suspect.
And the name they're using now is a cut above steaks, and it reminds me of.
Oh,
one
is
of
that
our
what it is?
That
But
was your
it's not
place.
Okay, 'cause
related.
I've seen a cut
It's-
above on a billboard, but I think
that's a
the
cut
people we
above
know.
butcher
Yeah, that's
shop,
the people
which
we know.
actually stands for quality. Our
Yeah, they're
friends,
great.
Former sponsors. They have
Yeah,
two
yeah.
locations, but and they have high end
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like
great.
Australian Wagyu. You're talking about like $40 a pound steaks.
Yeah.
But this place is not a cut above butcher shop. It's a cut above steaks, and apparently
Jesus.
it's not a cut above. It might need several hundred
Well
cuts. in
below.
order-
You know, it could be a horse.
I
Could be
would-
a horse.
It could be Sargusa. I mean, after I run at Tampa today.
the track handicapper here, Ron Nicoletti. Great to see
Yeah,
him
he's
back.
doing well, thank God.
I'll never forget one time somebody was discussing the merits of, might have been a friend of Defoe's that was in talking about the sausage that they bought. And Ron Nicoletti looked up and he goes, "My mother told me never buy pork from the back of a truck."
Wait, the fact that your mother had to tell you that says something.
Never bought
Well, it would
pork.
have been wrong in this case. It was classic.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
he was a big fan of the sausage. We're going to send him out to be the guinea pig and pick up $40 worth of
There you go.
ribeye steaks.
Yeah, I don't see
And,
that
happening.
he could have a party. But
I don't see
meanwhile,
that happening.
hey,
It's worth a
talking
shot.
about party, VLFoodWine.com. That's the food festival, but they're going to have a nice big event featuring meat that you can count on, because Ron Dinfelmeyer, who we spent some time with this week, great grill master, big green egg, and his friend Jeremy Perkins.
Yep.
They are whipping up a 4-course dinner, including those big Dino dinosaur beef ribs that they're going to be grilling up. It's all part of the International Whiskey Day celebration, March 27th. It's a Wednesday night down at House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. Beautiful venue.
That area is amazing.
Gorgeous.
Outdoor setting, right overlooking the New River, right near the Performing Arts Center. And go online now, VLFoodWine.com. Get your tickets. Very limited availability. I'll be there. I think Lubie's going to show up also. And it's Whiskey Day. So mixologist Miles Robinson is going to be whipping up some of his award-winning craft cocktails using bourbons and ryes and all kinds of whiskeys. It's going to be a great time. Again, go online, VLFoodWine.com. Get your tickets now. March 27th, a Wednesday night. Don't miss it. All right. I think, gentlemen, that's it.
All right, have a good
That's it.
time.
That
Hit the
does it.
wires.
Safe travels, sir.
Anybody want to venture a guess as to how much weight I'm going to put on?
I don't know if it works like that. I think you'll come back bloated. I mean, I don't see how you don't.
It's a sodium bath. as
Blood
people
bath.
put
as
it.
Defo likes to say.
Hopefully, I'll come back on in the seat in the plane as opposed in the cargo hold down below. In a
Don't look at a
box.
scale until you're 2
Yeah,
days
I
back.
will- I will-
Do a lot
Don't
of
look at the
walking.
scale for at least a week.
For like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm allergic to
There's
scales.
no way you lose weight in New Orleans. There's no way.
Oh man, we had a
That
fun
late
time.
night chili cheese dog from
Yeah.
Lucky Dogs
Yeah,
down there in the Harris
exactly.
Casino at 3:30 in the
We had
morning.
a
It's not gonna
130
go.
dog,
beignet.
We had a fun
Get a
time.
beignet.
Fun time today, and we'll do it all again next week. It's going to be a replay show
Man, it
next
was a
Monday.
fun show. We had a good time.
Arabian Nights down on Las Olas with our friend Frank Talrico and the owner-operators of Arabian Nights, Zena and her mom, Lena.
That was fantastic.
That will be Monday's show. We'll be back live Tuesday from Taco Craft down in Fort Lauderdale, Victoria Park. So Tuesday is when we'll announce the contest winners.
Yes.
Wednesdays will be with our friend Kui Lam at our new sponsor, Kaizen Sushi in
Thursday
Fort
back
Lauderdale.
at Wicked. I missed
Thursday,
Wicked. tomorrow.
Wicked cheesesteak. Oh, Brian's got something diabolical in store, but
Oh,
I'm not
Jesus.
even going to announce it until then.
Thursday.
Besides the new chicken meatball sub, he's
I'll
going to.
come on Thursday.
He's ushering in a new contest challenge.
Okay. Jeez, okay.
It involves 5 pounds of meat and cheese
Oh, God.
on a bun.
Good luck.
We're going to be calling it the Big Bite Cheesecake Challenge. And after New Orleans, I really will be put in a pine box soon. All right. Friday back here at Gulfstream. Defo, have a great weekend.
Thank you, man. It's going to be fun.
Great weekend, everyone. Safe trip, sir. And I
Enjoy
can't wait for
Cafe
Cafe
Seville.
Seville tonight. Breaking my
Tacos
cherry.
Tequila tomorrow
First time
right
starter.
here.
Maiden
Breaking my
voyage.
cherry.
Tony
I'm happy.
Segreto, thank you as always. Enjoy every sandwich, everybody.